All right, now that we finished solving for SAS problems, we're going to look at SSS here. Now, SSS means side, side, side. And just like SAS, there's only going to be one triangle that we can find. However, we have to be a little more cautious with SSS about the angle in which we find first. So here we're given a triangle. We're given three sides. All right. And what do we want to be aware of? We are going to start by using law of cosines. Now, again, it says draw a picture and solve for the missing information. The key thing when we have a problem with SSS is that we always solve for the longest side first. So now if I look at this example, B is my longest side. So I'm going to solve for the angle opposite the longest side. So if B is my longest side, I'm going to find angle B first. Now we have to remember some geometry here. The longest side is always across from the largest angle. All right. And we're going to use that logic here. So that means B has to be my largest angle. That has to be my largest angle. And if something while I'm solving messes that up, I have an issue. Now, again, the same thing happens here with middle and small. So if I take a look at this, I know that in this example, that if I look at 12, 12 is the shortest side. Therefore, A would have to be the smallest angle. So if anything messes that up, we're going to have to change it. And in addition to that, same thing, C is right in the middle. So if C is in the middle, it's the middle side, then angle C would have to be that middle angle. All right, so we have to make sure that we're aware of that. Now, when we solve something with SSS, we're always going to solve for the largest angle first. So the largest angle is always across from the longest side. So in this example, we are going to solve for B because B is that opposite the longest side. So when we take a look at this, guys, I'm going to say I'm solving for angle B. If I go up here, I'm going to look at my three equations and I'm going to look for the equation with angle B, the angle that I want to solve for. And again, it's the second equation. So that is the equation that I'm going to use. So when I come back down here and I'm going to plug this in, we are going to write B squared. Well, in this case, I know B. It's 27 squared is equivalent to 12 squared plus 20 squared minus 2 times 12 times 20 times cosine of B. Now, guys, when we solve this, we have to be careful with order of operations. Now, right off the bat, I like to break it into a couple groups. Okay, guys, we're going to do 27 squared by itself. Then I like to combine 12 squared plus 20 squared. And then because I can combine them because I find the exponents and they are like terms, so I can combine them. And then I want to simplify right here. We want to simplify that 2 times 12 times 20. So if I do that, that's my first step, and I'm going to simplify that. I'm going to get 729 is equivalent to 12 squared, which is 144, plus 20 squared, which is 400, which is 544. And then minus 2 times 12 times 20 is 480 cosine of B. So now I'm going to subtract that 544 from both sides to get 185 is equivalent to negative 480 cosine of B. And guys, remember, then we're going to divide by that negative 480, and I'm going to get negative 0.385 is cosine of B. And again, to find an angle, we have to do inverse. So I'm going to do inverse cosine of that value of negative 0.385 would be equivalent to B. So if I plug that in my calculator, and I do second cosine, because second cosine gives you that inverse cosine, and you have negative, so we said negative 0.385, you should get that to be B to be 112.644 degrees. And that makes sense. I mean, B has to be my largest angle. And in this case, I have an obtuse angle, which is my largest angle. So therefore, that makes complete sense. All right, guys. And our whole goal here is to make sure everything makes sense. Now, I do things in order. Now, I always find the longest one first, and then I find the middle one second. And we have to be careful. We have to just verify when we use law of sines to find the middle one that it is less than 112 degrees. All right, guys. So let's start. Now I have angle B. I can use law of sines by saying I know side length B and I know angle B. So now if I want to find my middle, I always go largest angle, middle angle, small angle. I just find it easier. So in this case, if we take a look at this, let's find C. We are going to do, and if I take a look at B, B is 27. Oops, hold on. I need to erase that. I don't want to write it in marker, that. So I'm doing 27 over sine of angle B, which is 1112.644. And that fraction has to equal 20 over sine of C. All right, guys. Now, if I cross multiply this, I'm going to get 27 sine C is equivalent to 20 times sine of 112. And I'm just going to plug that in my calculator, guys. 644. And if I plug that in my calculator, that is going to be equivalent to, in this case, positive 18.458. Remember, I got that 458 by just plugging in sine of 112.644 times 20. Now that I have that, I'm going to divide both sides by that 27. And I'm going to get sine of C to be equivalent to, let me make that, I like I had something written on top of the other. All right, so I'm going to have sine of C equivalent to, in this case, if I put that in, 18.458 divided by 27, approximately 0.684. And then, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to do inverse sine. So C is equivalent to inverse sine of 0.684. And when we do that, we do second sine, second answer in that case. And this would be, C is approximately 43.129 degrees. And that's okay. Now, remember, we want to make sure everything makes sense. Well, that is less than B. So that's okay. So I know that B is 112 and C is less than B. So that we're saying that is our middle value. Now, if we want to find A is quite simple at this point. A, again, once you have two angles in a triangle, you're going to use your triangle sum theorem to solve for the third angle. So A is going to just be 180 minus your 112.644, and then minus your 43.129. And if I subtract it, that is 24.227. And I always say go in this order because in this order, small, middle, large, and you can tell it worked out. My largest angle is B. My middle angle should have been C, which it is. It's 43.129. And my smallest angle was A, which is 24.227. All right. So that order in which we find the angles is important. Okay, guys. So make sure you do largest, middle, smallest. All right, guys. So this is the case again, the second case. And this is when we use our law of cosines, when we have SSS or SAS. All right, guys. So let's take a look. You guys are going to actually skip this until next week. We're not going to deal with the area of anything until next week. So your only homework tonight is going to be two problems, guys. You have A and B on the last page of your packet. Those are the two problems that you're going to have for homework tonight. If you have any questions, please stop by at office hours. If you cannot make my office hours tomorrow, I would like you to just drop me an email, tell me how you're doing, tell me if you're having trouble with something, because we probably will have a quiz on this information at the end of next week. All right, guys, I posted your answers to the homework problems from yesterday with this assignment today. So, with these videos today. And if you have any concerns, please reach out. All right, guys, I hope you have a great day and a great weekend. And remember, no math on Friday, and we will see you on Monday. All right, guys, talk to you later. Bye.